Oh, great. I have audio, but no video. Okay, hold on a second. Jesus. You gotta be kidding me. It's right there. Oh, no, it's on. I'm going to switch back and forth. That is not going to be the right one. Wow. Wow. It won't even show that one. Why will you not show video? This is crazy. Shoot, I didn't even think about this. I'm concentrating on the audio. Let me do one more thing here. Just turn the camera on and off. Oh, what the? Oh, there we go. Just needed to turn it off and then back on. There we go. All righty. Sorry for the little malfunction at the beginning, but welcome to Mondays with Max. Appreciate you guys all being here. If you wouldn't mind, I put in the chat. I should have actually pinned it, but if you could retweet it, bring more people in, I would appreciate it. I saw a couple people already did that, so thank you. But yeah, we got a couple things to talk about tonight. Main two topics are going to be Bitcoin as well as salad. And I always say salad because who is it? Is it SpongeBob says that? And that's where I grew up with. Well, I didn't grow up with it. My kids grew up with SpongeBob. So at any rate, all right, let's see who is here this evening. Crypto Craig is here. Retro Mike, he is totally here for the salad bashing party. This is not a salad bashing party, but we'll talk about it. Scott Sheffield, Vinny Del Greco, thanks for being a member. I appreciate it. Caw Valley Crypto, Son of a Rabbit, Burn, Little Time Mining, Second TL, The Mining King, Dom G, Easy Admin, The Red Panda Mining is here. Thank you, sir, for being here. The guy who started all this salad nonsense. I think I already said Scott Sheffield. Let's see. Travelers Travels. Black Hat Team. Steven Cicero. And let's see. Anybody else? Jean-Francois. Coinage. Integra Guy 04. We'll just leave it at that. And gosh, I don't see too many other new people. All people that have been gaming with Smokey Dan. Yes, I am not muted. Hopefully I'm coming across. I actually had moved the mic a bit because I was messing with the camera. So hopefully you guys can hear me good. And I'll try to make sure I stay in front of the mic this time. I always have a tendency to not do that so well. All right. Crypto MB Tains. Hash Rate Junkie. And I'm about ready to call it. I'm just going to do one quick scan. See, Geek of all trades. It's a fucking goat. Duke Nukem. And that's it. All righty. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate you guys all being here. So like I said, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about salad and just talk about a couple of other things related to Ethereum ETF and somebody stepping down at the SEC. Thought that was pretty interesting. Anyway, well, let's start out with Bitcoin because a lot of interesting things have been happening. So last week was the first week in a very long time, not like ever, but for quite a while, where we had outflows. And it was $580 million worth of outflows from Bitcoin ETFs. That's a lot. So that's certainly going to put some strain on the price of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin not going up kind of makes sense with that. But why was there this outflow? And a lot of people were saying, or a lot of the experts were saying, it has to do with the FOMC announcement, basically stating that interest rates are not going to come down until much, much later in the year. And so that's what everybody focused on. We're not getting the interest rate reductions. So yeah, not a good thing for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, it does really, really well in a low or reducing rate environment. That's where it seems to do really, really well. So that's where that correlation comes in. But why isn't the FOMC lowering until the end of the year? And it comes flat out right to inflation. And everybody talks about, oh, well, my groceries are going up. And this has nothing to do with any of that, because all of that has stopped. It's pretty much flatlined to where it is way below, or not way below, it's below that 2%. All the other things. The biggest thing is housing. And that's going to be the hardest thing to overcome, to get the inflation rate down to 2%. I've done a lot of reading and research into this. And while the Fed does have obviously some levers to pull here in order to bring down the cost of housing, they can't do anything about supply. The only thing that they can do is try to decrease demand by increasing rates. And by increasing rates and decreasing demand means decreasing prices. So that's part of it. But the other part of it is the fact that we just flat out we don't have enough housing for everybody. Basically through the pandemic, construction kind of halted. So in a lot of areas, apartments are much, much harder to find, and it's very easy for landlords to raise their rates. I have a son, I mentioned that before, that he lives in Alabama. He is very fortunate to have found an apartment complex that values good tenants. And so they don't raise their rates very high each year on existing tenants. Now, new tenants coming in, yeah, they would have to pay more, but he's found that fortunate. But in his first apartment complex he was in, they were raising like 15-20% a year. 22%. Sorry, I stand corrected. 22% in the middle of the pandemic. They raised his rate 22%. And he gave him the big middle finger and said, thank you very much. I'll be finding another place. And he did. And again, he found a very, very good place for him. But my point is that this is a story that is being told all across the country with people who are trying to find apartments. And a lot of people don't really see the value in owning a home anymore. You've taken away a lot of the tax benefits of it. If you look at the way the tax structures have been changed, and again, I'm not criticizing the way the tax structures have changed. I'm just stating fact of what has happened. You increase the standard deduction so high that you don't have enough deductions to basically itemize your taxes anymore. So your interest and your property taxes and all those things you used to be able to deduct don't matter anymore. So it's like, well, if I'm not getting the tax benefit of owning a home, why am I owning a home in the first place? And there's those people that have that logical thought that they don't want to own homes. They want to own apartments. So it kind of has this double whammy effect of people don't want to buy homes right now because the interest rates are so high. People don't want to move because the interest rates are so high. And people don't want to buy homes and they'd rather buy apartments, thus increasing the cost of living in an apartment. So this is a complex problem where a third of the consumer price index is housing. A third, 1/3 of it. That's a lot. And that's the reason. So we lived and died by this for a very, very long time. So if you look back 30 years ago, the housing was not as big of a piece of the consumer price index, but because we were living in a decreasing, for a long time, a decreasing interest rate, or at least a low interest rate, the cost of housing wasn't changing, it was low. Therefore, by including more of it into the consumer price index, it kept inflation, the measure of inflation, under control. But that's just playing with numbers. Now, again, was it the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? I'm not making that argument. I'm just simply stating that the number that was stated many years ago for consumer price index is not the same number that we report today. So the number we report today has a very, very heavy component of housing. So, they're saying, oh yeah, we'll lower towards the end of the year. I'm not so sure. If they want to really get down to 2%, I don't know how you take the housing number and get down to where it needs to be. Now, it is a lagging number, very much lagging. So they're thinking that they have lowered or they've raised rates enough that this is just taking a while to show its face in the CPI. We'll have to see. But this is the thing, inflation is the thing that is holding a lot of things back, especially Bitcoin and crypto prices. So anyway, I wanted to kind of tie all that together to say, why is Bitcoin where it is? Why is it floundering a bit? And we're always going to have ups and downs, but we've been trading sideways since it hit its all-time high. It has not done anything since then. We've been going between 72,000 and some other lower number. I think the lowest number we hit was in the 50s after it hit its all-time high. Now we've almost hit 65. We're just above 65. So anyway, that's, I think, what may be different and what might break the perfect cycle, shall we say. It's not going to, maybe, and every cycle is slightly different. I think this may be where the cycle's different this time, and the fact that we're going to have to wait until the consumer price index maybe starting to show, closer to 2.5, 2.4, 2.3%. And then maybe the Fed will go, well, we see the trend, therefore we're going to lower a little bit and see what happens. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But that's going to be the really key event, is how much they foreshadow exactly when they're going to lower and when that's going to be. I truly believe that when people started saying, oh, we're going to see 2 this year, I'm like, no, we're not. We're going to see 1 this year. That's it. If we even see that. So anyway, that's one of the things. Now, the other thing that I came across today was Bitcoin and the 20-day moving average. So I watch CryptoCapital Venture YouTube channel, and I was listening to him today, and I always get like little tidbits. So the 2 tidbits I got today was, it looks like we may be setting up for an inverse head and shoulders, which is a very bullish charting symbol or charting pattern. Okay. The other thing he mentioned was post halving, and you could say prior to the bull or in the bull market, we have never broken, we've had flash breaks below it, but we've never, broken the trend of the 20-day moving average, which right now is about 164 or so. Sorry, 164, 64. It's about 64,000. So I think that could be that. Again, that would be an interesting thing, is if we break below that and we go like closer to like 60, we will have completely broken that trend. And then it's kind of like, where are we going from here? I believe, me personally, I believe that we'll hold that line. And maybe, like I said, have a flash break, maybe down to like 62,000 or something like that, but it'll come right back. And then get a break back up to 72. And I mean, the pattern basically says that if it keeps this pattern, the target then is 90,000. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm hesitant to say that we're going to get there anytime soon because of what's happening with the Fed, and specifically inflation. And I have said, and I know that May not necessarily always be a popular thing, but I go back to Volcker, who was, and I've talked about this in the past, Volcker, who was the head of the Fed back late 70s, early 80s, and he took the interest rates to ungodly numbers, well over like 12, 14, 16%, because he had hit the economy hard in order to bring things down. Well, he knew what that was going to do. It was going to break the economy. It was going to bring very high unemployment, but that was what was needed. And in this case, they're trying to find this perfect balance. They're trying to basically play the knife edge. They're trying to balance on the knife edge. And I'm sorry, you can't balance on it. You got to trend towards, I'm not saying you have to bring out the sledgehammer, but you need a hammer. And they're not using the hammer. And so maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think we should head towards a soft landing. I'm thinking we need to head towards one where we may sprain an ankle or something at least. We have to feel some pain. Otherwise, consumer sentiment doesn't change. All these things need to change in order to have the consumer stop spending so much. The consumer stops spending so much. That's what we need. That's what has to happen in order to make inflation go down. Among other things, supply chain pressures at least have subsided for the most part. But obviously tariffs haven't necessarily helped a whole heck of a lot, but that's a whole nother story. That's making things a lot more complex. But they haven't raised tariffs except for the proposed ones, but they haven't raised tariffs in quite a long time. So therefore they really haven't had any recent effect on the level of inflation. Anyway, alrighty. Any questions about all that? Hopefully I didn't bore everybody to death, but I really, really wanted to get that out. Because really what this comes down to is, where are we with inflation? That's what we need to be paying attention to. That's why so many people watch when the CPI comes out, or even anything related to inflation, the producer price index, when that comes out. And there's a couple other measures that are like forecasts of consumer price index. Smoothly Adjusted says, of course you're wrong. That's why you're on YouTube at 9 o'clock Eastern. Not sure that's meant by that, but okay. Chump Change, welcome, sir. Welcome. I should have done like the daily grind at 9 o'clock tonight because, since Chump didn't do it this morning and disappointed us all. Anyway, I don't know if anybody saw his short. He got his solar panels. He's got one little piece coming left, but he's got most of it. Going to be some interesting content coming out. So if you're not subscribed to him, you need to be subscribed to him. As long as we're speaking about Bitcoin, I know that Endless Mining and Greater Good Mining are over in the Bitcoin conference. I forget what it's, the World Mining. I don't know. Anyway, I forget what it's called, but anyway, it's basically a Bitmain show. And they did release the S21 XP Hydro today. I think that there's actually going to be an S21 XP, but I have not seen any information on that yet. So that'll be kind of interesting. But track both of those guys, Endless Mining and Greater Good Mining. Greater Good Mining seemed to have a better summary. Endless kind of basically just posted the entire presentation, but it was kind of hard to hear. So definitely suggest checking out Greater Good Mining because he's kind of summarizing everything. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with the S21 XP and see. I know that the X21 XP Hydro was like 400 something terahash. It was less than 10 joules per terahash or per hash. Anyway, whatever the number is, it was in single digits. That's amazing. And they were making a big push on doing hydro farms. So I found that a bit interesting, but I'm not a big ASIC guy, so I might do some looking at it, but not my huge interest at this point. Rizzo 529 says interest rates need to go higher to fend off inflation. Either that or Saudi Arabia and the US need to get back on the petrodollar contract. I'm not sure what the petrodollar contract is, but I think basically what you're saying is there's some type of agreement that says that there will be lower gas prices. That would certainly help because, gas prices are a fairly significant part of consumer price index. But the biggest problem with that is the Fed isn't really looking at the CPI. Basically, they look at the CPI minus food and energy. That's what they're really focused on. So I hear what you're saying. It would certainly help with the cost of transporting products and such, which could help the rest of the economy and bring down costs. So that would be a good thing. One other thing I wanted to mention also is I've heard this, I've seen it myself. We're at a point where how are companies continuing to raise their earnings? And right now, most companies that most friends that are working at companies, most companies that I know of, they are cutting costs. All these companies are in cost cutting mode. They're not trying to figure out where can I put extra dollars of investment necessarily. Some companies are. Certainly companies in logistics, yes, they are definitely trying to figure out because that industry as a whole is booming. Warehousing and logistics, absolutely. But most other companies are looking to drastically reduce costs in order to increase prices or increase earnings. So that's like a leading indicator of what's to come, because you can only cut so far, and then things break. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Let's see. Ted said, yeah, Iowa posted on Twitter. What did he post on Twitter about? Sorry, I must have missed something. Just going back to see if I missed anything. Oh, Ted says, I saw somewhere that this past year only 4 million homes sold, just the same as 1978, but with 150 million more people now. Yeah, because nobody wants to sell their homes. I mean, I've got a less than 3% interest rate. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to go get a 30% raise because I get some promotion, but I got to relocate. What's the point? You're going to relocate, but you're going to have to pay probably the same amount of money to get the house. But you're going to have a much, much higher interest rate on your mortgage. So yeah, I just don't really see the point. Let's see, where else? Did anybody else say a comment? Steven Sister, I missed this. Went to Best Buy pretending to be an employee today. Really? How'd that work for you? That come out all right? Yes, I've started the show, Geek. And yes, I was not muted. I didn't have a picture, but I was not muted. All right, let me scroll back down. I know. I was scrolling up to the comments. Yeah, I know he's been here the whole time. I said I went through the introduction. He was one of the last guys I said. Let's see here. Let's see. And Rizzo529 says the 50-year contract with the U.S. and Saudi Arabia to only use the U.S. dollar to sell oil is over. This is going to kick us into major inflation. Wow, I was not aware. Not so sure it will. It's still a commodity that is traded globally. So I'm not so sure unless it affects the value of the dollar. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. So moving on to Salad. Has Salad started to wilt? What do you think? Tell me in the chat what you guys think. Tag me on your comments. But this is just natural progression. It's the chicken or the egg. Okay. You have a service. and that service is doing well and people like it, but you no longer have enough capacity. So all of your service providers are going, this is awesome. I'm making good money. But the service provider is going, I need more capacity. So they think it's wonderful when YouTubers get involved and say, hey, look at what I'm doing. Look at what I'm doing. Because it's just natural to get more capacity. Then service providers that were on the network are going, boo, I don't get the same amount of jobs anymore. Well, yeah, because now there's excess capacity on the network. But now that there's excess capacity, they can go out and get additional customers. It's kind of how it works. You can't, I mean, look back at when Jeff Gee had mentioned, he had a job lined up, but he needed 500 4090s. 500 4090s. Again, chicken or the egg. Who's going to take the risk to put all of their 4090s in that basket with Flux, hoping that that's going to pay well for them when you have all these others where you know you can make money on because they're established, they have customers, all of that. So Salad has been around for quite a while, but we all know that this is a growing industry. It continues to grow. And so this is what happens. If you look at Vast, in fact, give me a second. Wanted to show you something. Because Vast was doing really well, and then it's kind of fallen off. So I'll show you like a 30-day trend. Duplicate, bring it up here. And okay. Wasn't exactly what I wanted. Let me see if I can find the right one. I don't know why I can never find this one. There it is. I'm going to move this one up so that I don't miss it again. There we go. So this is the trend. You can see there was a recent bump. These are for 4090s. This is on Vast, and there was a recent bump in demand for 4090s on Vast, like significant. So there's going to be this change in demand all the time. It's not just the static, everybody needs the same amount all the time. No, you're going to have these bumps. You're going to have these new projects that come along. They need a certain amount of compute. They run it and then they're done. And so that's what's going to happen. You're going to have some of those that are going to need things all the time, but not always the case. So Vast saw a recent bump, and obviously Salad, if I'm in their shoes, I'm thinking, how can I grow this business so that I can do it full time? They basically, the update that I heard, the last one, basically said, it sounded like everybody who was working on it was part time. I'm sure they would all like to make it a full time job. And so we'll see where things go. I had made this suggestion, well, just to a few people I was talking to, that maybe they will need to increase their fee to make sure that they can continue to grow the platform and grow the customer base and make sure that we continue to get a lot more jobs so that they can handle the growth. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I like the 10%. I hope I can keep it 10%, but they're priced much, much lower as far as the percentage that they're taking versus Vast, which is taking 25%. Was interesting that Vast changed the way that they are reporting or the way you set your prices is now what you will make. And the only way that you have visibility into like what that amount that they're taking is if you go into like a different browser, don't log in, go to their search and find your machine in the search and see what they're actually offering it for. Last time I checked, it was still 25%, but it does give them flexibility if they wanted to. But I think they would get called out if that happened, but we'll see. I think they were trying to simplify it. So I'll go on that side of things that they were just trying to do what they thought was going to be simplest and easiest to understand for providers. But anyway, so right now I have 10 GPUs still on Vast. Sorry, I have 11 GPUs still on Vast. One of them will come off of Vast and go on salad at some point. Right now, it's got a job. It's got a job for the next 2 weeks. That's the one that's the VM. And I really don't want to take it off because kind of like steady income, which is what it is. Salad is not steady income. Let me show you this. I didn't praise Jimmy Carter. I did not praise Jimmy. I said that he appointed Volcker. I mean, you could. I mean, that was a wise decision for Jimmy Carter. That's all. I mean, every president makes wise decisions along the way. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut. Okay, so anyway, do not read into that. I am just simply stating that Volcker was the right Fed chairman at the time. If you would have told me that our current Fed chair was going to turn out to be a little wimpy when it came to interest rate increases 4 years ago, I would have thought you were crazy. I would have thought he's the right guy for the job based on his history. Well, guess what? I think he's a little wimpy for the job. Either that or just affected by politics. I'm not going to get into politics. My point is that you can think you know who you're hiring to do a job, and they're not always that same guy. In this particular case, Volcker was the right guy at the right time for what we needed in this country. That's all. Don't read more into it. All right. So these are my earnings. Now, these earnings down here weren't great, but this was shortly after a power outage. I had a 2.5 hour power outage yesterday. So obviously I lost every job I had. It came back and came up to, a little bit and then dropped back down. But you can see it once you kind of get up here, and this is like not even quite max. This is like 5 out of my 6 have jobs. 5 out of my 6 rigs have jobs. And that's tend to be the maximum I've been able to see. And then, here it drops down 1 and then another 2. So it kind of goes back and forth. But once you get up to this point, you usually don't drop down too much. Basically, you're going to kind of cycle things out. But again, it all depends on the demand. But that's what that looks like. If I look at my earnings for Vast, they are just steady, absolutely steady. They just stay rented. Now, the one really great thing I love about this versus mining is the power. Like if I was mining with everything I had in the basement right now, I would be, at least on my 30 amp circuit, I'd be maxing out the circuit at like 5,500 watts. Right now I've got, well, let's see. So I'm at so I probably have 4 out of my 6 rigs down there that are on. And if I check my circuit, it's probably less than 1,000 watts. Let me check. Yeah, 878 watts. So I like that part about it. It doesn't cost as much that way. So anyway, so this one is, like I said, 6 GPUs. I've got 11, so almost twice as many on Vast. This one right now I'm up to $18 a day. Earlier, and I'd say probably $18, $19 a day is where I've kind of been at this point. So let's even just say it's like $20 a day. So for the week, I'll make like right around $140 for the month. Sorry, let me do the 560. I think I did that right. Yeah, 560 is where I would be for just this. I am still running Accurast. In fact, let me pull up a phone. Phone mining is dead. Use Retro Mike's referral code. Put it in the chat. Your referral code for Accurast. All right. You were the one that turned me on to this. Least I can do is let you benefit from the referral code. So appreciate it. I'm enjoying it. I'm in their Discord. Well, I'm more lurking in their Discord rather than participating. But I don't know. I like the project. So basically, Accurast is a compute network for phones. Simple as that. What kind of jobs they're running? Have no idea. It hasn't gone mainline yet, so we'll see where things go. Right now, it's kind of like I can't think of the name of it, but it was kind of like that Honey or Hive Mapper phone only app where you had this like test token. And then once they went main, then the test token transitioned into the actual token, and everybody went, "What? That's all? That's all we get?" And then they changed. I kind of expect this will probably be similar to that, but it's fun. It's a fun little project. I'm enjoying doing something a little bit different. I like projects, so yeah. Again, thank you, Retro Mike, for letting me know about it. Appreciate it. You can't see it because the screen is too small. Oh, right. What the heck am I doing? There we go. Sorry. That's basically what the screen looks like. And you can turn it up this way, but basically it says the same thing. And it goes between loading and a tested. And they have a dashboard and stuff, and you get this like I said, test coin. I forget what it's called. It's like MACU or something like that. But anyway, I'm enjoying it. So thanks for bringing that up, Retro Mike. Appreciate it. Yeah, Natix. That's what I was talking about. Miner of all coins. Appreciate that. Yeah, when they transitioned, yeah, people were unhappy. I think that's probably the nicest way to put it. I guess they changed it a little bit as a result. No. Salad's not in testnet. No, it is not in testnet. That is, well, it's not. Salad isn't crypto. It's fiat. So in fact, the one kind of interesting thing about it is the way that you get paid out. You have to request a payout. So like today, actually, I hit $110.50, enough to get $100 in PayPal. So with PayPal payouts, with a lot of payouts, it's 10%, but some of them have a fee. So PayPal has 10% plus 50 cents on all of their payouts. Okay. Now, if you were to get an Amazon gift card, that would only be 10%. They don't have that extra 50% fee. So those are the two things that I'll be looking at to get as payouts. But right now I'm focusing on PayPal just because I don't really know of anything I'm going to need specifically from Amazon right now. So I don't want to really accumulate that. But if I have something that I want to purchase, I'll probably start accumulating with this in gift cards and then put that on the account. Although now that I think about it, probably not, because I save 5% by using my credit card. And I would that means I'd be using like an extra 5%. So that's not good. Yeah, I'll probably stay with the PayPal. Anyway, okay. Any other comments about Salad? But the overall point here is that be patient. And I'm not good at being patient. That's Mining King. I am definitely not good at being patient. I'm like, come on, what is going on here? I want to see a note. Basically, I want some type of feedback that says everything's working fine. That's what I want. And I thought that was if that VMM process was running, that everything was good. But if that wasn't there, my interpretation was something's not right. But that's not necessarily the case at all. All right, Geek of All Trades says, is Salad going to send you a 1099 at the end of the year? That's a very good question, and I have not asked that yet, but that's a really good question because you're getting payouts in gift cards. Now, if you're getting payouts in PayPal, PayPal will probably send you the 1099. So that's another, could be, depending on how you look at it, it could be a benefit by not having something reported on a 1099. It's not how I would do it, but I can see how some people would like that idea. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing as far as 1099s. I know that for Vast last year, I had all my payouts in PayPal, and I got all of that in a 1099 from PayPal. This year I'm using Stripe for them, so I'm assuming I'll get the same thing from Stripe, but I can't say for sure. Crypto Crag says, how is the power usage on Salad versus Vast? Interesting. Actually, I find, actually lately it's kind of been the same. I don't think, so one of the differences between Salad and Vast is with Vast, you just put it out there and you say what the price is, and whatever runs on it. You have no control. If a miner picks it up, it's a miner, and he is going to blast power through your system to get as much hash rate as he can. It's flat out. So yes, you're going to be using a lot more power in that case and not be making as much money. With Salad, though, you have the ability to turn off mining. So overall, I would say you're going to use less power with Salad because you have the ability to say ixnay to the mining. So that's kind of a cool feature with Salad. Let's see. Bacon, Eggs, and Hash says, is this for PCs only, or can I use my mining rig? I mean, you can use your mining rig. It is not, it has to be Windows at this point. It does not have any way to run other than on Windows. So yes, you could load Windows on your mining rig. Hell, I think somebody's loaded Windows onto an Octominer, right, Mining King? Strangest thing, but somebody did it. And so it's possible, but you're not going to get the same jobs that somebody who has multiple mining lanes or multiple PCIe lanes going to their GPU versus only one. A mining rig generally is only going to have one lane. It doesn't need more than one lane. But like I said, can you? Yes, you could just decide to sell your hash rate. But from what I've seen, when you get a hash rate job, when you get a mining job, you're not getting paid anywhere near the amount that you would be getting paid if you just mined yourself. And then when you're mining yourself, you have the ability to control the overclocks. Oh, speaking of that, that's also another interesting thing. There is a setting, and I can't recall exactly what it is, but there's a setting in there where you can provide like basically admin access to somebody. I don't do it. Heck no. But you can provide admin access so that people can overclock. At least that's the way I interpret what that feature is. Mining King, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the way. So I have not enabled that feature. I made sure that feature was disabled. Let's see. Retro Mike, sometime this week, can you send me one of your Acurest processor IDs? I have the ability to run a job if I know the processor address. Sure. Absolutely. Send me a DM and tell me exactly what I need to do to find that processor address. I'm assuming it's on the dashboard. But yeah, if you can just give me simple instructions for a 5-year-old, appreciate it. Bacon, Eggs, and Hash says, I'll have to do a deep dive on Salad. I know nothing about it. Oh, no. Bacon, Eggs, and Hash. No, you don't want to do this. Right, Mining King? You don't want to do this. Right, Panda? You don't want to do this. You know what? The more the merrier. We're a community. It's nice to have something that we are all talking about again. Mining has been kind of dead. There hasn't been a lot of news. I mean, Zealous has been pretty good for me. I'm not complaining. But it's certainly not Ethereum mining at all. Not even close to that. But yeah, I'm still mining, still making a little bit. I actually did an analysis. I made, again, without power taken into account, but I made 1.4 Litecoin over the past week. So yeah, it was profitable. Is it Kubernetes under the hood? It is running on WSL. I don't remember if it was Kubernetes. I want to say yes, but I'm not sure. Hash rate job. Nice. Always, always the dirty mind. BTC's under 65. Awesome. Get down to 64. That's what I want. 64.3. That's where my trigger is. 64.3. Here, let's take a look. Coin market cap. 64.8 did it, but did it spike? Did it spike lower? Let's see here. Oh, it's dropping now. So yeah, right now it's at 64.86 and dropping. So this might be kind of like the flash crash and come up. So if you're thinking about buying some more, maybe set something lower and see if it dips down below it where you can buy something quick and go back up. Just a thought, not financial advice. We do not give financial advice on this show. We definitely do not. But thank you, Vinny, for bringing that up. Very much appreciated. All right. Let's see. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, Ethereum ETF. So everybody's, we had all that news about the first round of documents was approved, but the S1s haven't been. Sounds like they're getting closer. Supposedly there was some feedback that was finally kicked back to the ETF providers. And evidently it wasn't like super significant feedback in order to make some changes. So maybe in the next, basically they were saying it would definitely be by the end of July. Maybe by July 4th. So we'll see when the SEC approves it. But it's coming. It's coming. It's just taking some time. And speaking of the SEC, the head of the enforcement division against crypto decided to step down. He was probably tired of taking losses. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, what was his name? David Hirsch. Yeah, David Hirsch stepped down. And he basically, of course, he's trying to probably eventually get a new job. Probably got tired of it and said, see ya. And of course he's saying, look at what we accomplished. We accomplished so much. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You took a bunch of L's. You took a bunch of L's. Nice try. I appreciate the thought of trying to sell yourself through this, but no, you took a bunch of L's. That's pretty much all I had to talk about. So we're in the AMA section, people. I guess it's been 50 minutes. So we got 10 minutes for AMA and then we'll see where things go from there. One other thing. So been really struggling on exactly what to do with my NAS. And what I mean by that is to go true NAS scale or to go with Unraid. And I know the last time I mentioned this, I said, yep, I finally made a decision. I'm going Unraid. And then a whole bunch of people came out with videos, Unraid versus true NAS scale, and they all said true NAS scale. It's like, I can't decide. So I started going down the rabbit hole yesterday, trying to figure out exactly what I was going to do. And so then I was like, maybe I'll go true NAS scale. So one of the things that, Linus actually recently announced this. He had put a whole bunch of money into a NAS software company, and these guys all came from Unraid. Or did they come? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they came from Unraid. And anyway, they are building a simplified front end to TrueNAS, because TrueNAS is very complicated the way it's built. It's kind of like between Ubiquiti and MikroTik. It's not command line, but you need to know what you're doing and you need to know what all the features are, as opposed to, say, a Synology or Ubiquiti type of setup where it kind of guides you a bit more, making things a lot easier. So anyway, this HexOS is going to be that front end. They're going to have a beta in third quarter, but again, it's built on TrueNAS scale. So I was like, that'd be really cool to test out. So maybe I should build on TrueNAS scale and then be able to transition to HexOS as a beta tester. So now I'm struggling to figure out which way I'm going to go. But the biggest thing that has me still staying with Unraid is the ability to easily expand your array with a NAS on with a ZFS pool. Once you have like whatever your number of drives are for that pool, if you want to expand, you have to expand that number of drives again in order to expand the pool. So it's a lot more difficult, a lot more expensive than just going one disk at a time. But ZFS is proven technology and much more robust and reliable than Unraid. So, and Unraid boots off of a USB drive. That just seems odd to me. So I'm struggling. I think I'm still leaning towards Unraid just for the pure simplicity. The other thing is that their VM and container structure is built on Docker, while TrueNAS is built on Kubernetes. I'm more familiar with Docker than I am with Kubernetes. So I'm kind of still leaning towards Unraid, but I haven't made that final decision yet. I am not getting an Avalon Nano 3. Nobody's sending me one for free, and I'm not willing to pay money for something that is a lottery ticket. My one lottery ticket died. Where'd it go? It was back here a second ago. There it is. My Compact F died. It died. I had a fan on it, but I took the fan off. But anyway, that's dead. Does not work. Tried a bunch of different things. Did some research on it. Nope. Ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna work. It had finally served its last day of mining. I think I got about 100 digibyte out of that. Mining it solo. So didn't get a whole heck of a lot, but hey, got something out of it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into the too much into the Bitcoin lottery tickets. So anyway, any cicadas making noise down by you? No, actually, I mean, there are around, but you answered them already. Oh, so yeah, well, okay. Look at Sunflower Mama says no cicadas. Our house was built on a cornfield that was tall grass prairie before that. No big trees for them. That is true. Now, if any of them found our area, there are some trees, but no, we do not have many cicadas or any cicadas where we are. Travelers Travels, are you getting, I already answered that. Just get HexOS. Yeah, but the problem is it's not available yet. It's not available. I'd have to wait. I don't want to wait that long. When they say third quarter, they mean end of third quarter. That's 3 months from now. I don't want to wait that long. That's why I thought of, well, if I just build it initially on TrueNAS scale, I could transition into HexOS. It was a thought. So I don't know. Got a little bit more research to do, but I like the idea. I'd love to be a content creator, basically talking about HexOS. That'd be awesome. I would love that. And basically coming at it from a completely newbie. That's who they're targeting. They're targeting me. I don't know anything about NASs. I do know something about them, enough to be dangerous, but as far as setting them up and what the best way to set them up and all that kind of stuff, I don't know anything about that other than what I've seen on YouTube. I would hardly call myself an expert. I'm the target market. So HexOS, if you're out there listening, call me. All right. Geekball Trade says, keep that amazing head of hair and don't pull out your hair with this Frankenstein solution. Get Synology and call it a day. No. What fun is that? Anyway, the other reason why I thought Unraid was I have been reading that it is much easier to get GPU pass-through working on Unraid than it is to get working on TrueNAS scale. Now, there are people that have differing opinions on that, but I thought, yeah, if I can get GPU pass-through, I can have it work as multiple things. I could have it be a salad rig, add a little bit more memory. So I don't know. And I obviously want to be running some containers on there as well. I mean, I got put a 5950X in this thing. I want to use it. couldn't resist the 5950X. I got the 5950X for less than $300 at Micro Center open box. So definitely got a good deal on that. Rizzo 529. The Nano 3 would be good to pool mine in the winter when we need heat. Trust me, we have enough heat coming out of the basement. But I hear what you're saying. It would be a decent miner, but yeah, I don't know. Just not really into it. Second TL said, did you get the CPU thing sorted out for your NAS? Yeah, 5950X is the way I went. The 5700G was the problem. Not really sure why. I looked at the pins. Looked fine. I don't know. And I know that the person that sold it to me had it working with 4. So he basically sent me a CPU already installed and a motherboard. Now he had that CPU working in a different motherboard. So when he put it in there and it only worked on one bank, so he sent me another motherboard. Same thing happened. Same thing. The second bank wouldn't work. So that's where we narrowed it down to the CPU. Definitely the CPU. But again, why? I don't know. I looked at all the pins. I could not see any out of position. It dropped right in. Beats the heck out of me. So not really sure. Not really sure. So anyway, so I ended up getting a 5950X over the weekend. Geek of All Trades said, a retro mic. Nope. He goes against the grain. That's why we love him. Yes. I always go against, well, I don't always go against the grain, but yeah, I mean, shoot, the number of times I voted for a third-party candidate, at least 3 times, at least. But again, I live in Illinois. Democrat always wins. So I can vote third party as a protest vote, without worrying about how my vote is going to affect the election, other than possibly allowing a third party to get enough votes so that they can earn, money from the government as a third party. There's a certain threshold that they have to exceed. I think it's 10% in order to start receiving government funds for their election campaign. So let's see. Geekball Trade says, Red Panda Mining, about dang time. Server 2025 is public preview now. Just saying, you can always just start over now. I obviously missed the beginning of that conversation. I did not vote for Ross Perot. That's one person I did not vote for, but was tempted to. He was just a little too nutty. Ross Perot. I'm trying to think of who I voted for. I obviously voted for the Libertarian candidate in 2016. Gary Johnson. I'm trying to remember who else I voted for that was third party. Well, I would have voted for McCain if he ran as a third party candidate in 2000. Read the book, Run the Other Way. McCain almost ran as a third party candidate. At the time when he was making the decision, he was polling a third, and a third. He had a third, Bush had a third, and Gore had a third in a 3-way run. He would have had a chance. That would have been amazing to see. That would have been a real 3-way competition. Would have been amazing. It would have been amazing in our history. But unfortunately, George Bush said, sure, I can't stop you from running as a third-party candidate, but if you lose, you will be castrated. You will never, ever pass a piece of legislation with your name on it. Ever. So you have to ask what you want your legacy to be. And he decided he didn't want to take the risk. That makes me sad. But I also understand why he did what he did. Let's see. Rizzo529, positive story. I had to RMA a G-Skill Ripjaws 2x8 gig RAM kit from 2020. It took a week and a half and they sent me a new set. Super cool. Nice. Now, the question is, where did you have to send it to? Did you have to send it to Taiwan, or was there a place in the US where you could send it to? Because that's interesting. Because I know, like, oh shoot, what's the one I just got? Anyway, the memory that shall not be spoken of, and that Mining King doesn't like. He had a dead stick, and he was like, I need to RMA this. And they're like, yeah, sure. Just send it to Taiwan and we'll send you one back. Yeah, except the cost to send it to Taiwan was as much as just buying a new stick, which they knew. So that sucks. That sucks. Let's see. Sorry, I didn't mean to start down this political slant. I just thought it was interesting history. Vinny Del Greco said then McCain got canceled. Bought by Trump. Yeah, well, that's a whole nother story. Like I said, I won't go into that. Team Group, thank you. Yes, that was the one I was thinking of. Rizzo said, bought through Newegg and sent to California in US. $9 shipping. Nice. So did you send it back to Newegg or did you send it to G-Skill? Yeah, T-Force. Team Group, T-Force, same thing. Yeah, I've never had a problem with T-Force. I have a lot of T-Force memory and have yet to have a problem. So, yeah. By the way, when I was running the tests on the 5700G that I had, that processor, I was using multiple sets of memory. I was using Corsair and G-Skill. Both had come out of working rigs. So I knew it wasn't the memory that was causing the problem. Oh, I heard RPM loves Patriot memory because it's red. Right, Red Panda? You love it. You absolutely love that memory. You highly recommend that memory. Can't tell, a little bit of sarcasm in my voice. Wow, he's speechless. Either that or he's gone. And he's gone. Yeah, Red Viper, exactly. It was. So anyway, yeah, his Patriot dial. There you go. Check Discord. Okay, I'll check Discord just because it's Red Panda. Hold on. It's probably going to tell me, shut up. Stop. Let's see. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't even believe this. Can I show this picture? Okay. All right. Hold on. I gotta, let's see. Copy image. I gotta paste it somewhere. Give me a second. All right, let me do this. And then, oh, not that much. Oh, not that much. There we go. That'll work. All right. I'm not posting that picture, chump. All right, let me switch back to the other. There we go. So, yeah, he got a little bit of Viper memory. Just a little. Because it's red. Oh, hopefully, at least half of it's good. Hopefully half of it. That's funny. That is funny. All right, appreciate that. Rizzo529, Patriot RAM is the best for Ryzen systems. That's your story and you're sticking to it? I don't know. I've never tried it. I just always thought it looked cheap with its packaging. Like the look of it looked cheap to me. I don't know. That's just my opinion. It looked too flashy, too much trying to get your attention. No, Crypto Crack, I would never show feet pics. That only is in my shorts. Anyway, if you ever notice my shorts, a lot of times they'll have my feet in them. I try to avoid that. Red Panda says 3 more coming tomorrow. What are you doing? What are you doing? Do not tell me you're bringing the wrath of RPM cometh with to salad. That is what is happening. It's like you get him in. I don't know why we even encouraged him to get involved in this. We were like, why won't you do a fast rig? Why won't you do a fast rig? What were we thinking? What were we thinking? I am not an MS Paint maxi. I just know where to find it and I can paste a picture into it. That's all. It works. It works. Oh, just joshing me. Okay. Yeah. I'm just like, really? Patriot RAM? You really like Patriot RAM? I mean, I thank you, Vinny. I thought of that when I said that. Why are my feet in my shorts? Yeah. I got it. Yeah. I thought that too. Nice play on words. Appreciate that. Definitely a member of my generation. All right, let's see. That's definitely a lot of RAM. All right, enough of looking at that picture. All right, we are at 9:07. Any last questions? G-Skill RAM RMA is Walnut, California 91789. Nice. All right, good to know. I like G-Skill. T-Force, Team Group, they're a little bit less expensive, so I've kind of gone with them, and they're usually very available, more available than G-Skill on Amazon. So for me, it just seemed a lot easier to get that. Now, if I was getting stuff from Micro Center, I know G-Skill is probably more of it. Definitely is more available there. That's where I'd gotten a lot of my G-Skill memory. And 3 mil, welcome. I made a lot before you all came over here. All your base did belong to me for a while. I'm guessing you're talking about salad. That basically we screwed it all up for you. Is that what you're trying to say, 3 mil? Like, go away. Give it all back to me. Hey, rising tides raises all boats. This industry is going to grow. There's going to be more demand for it. We're going to steal market share away. And I say we, I mean like distributed compute is going to steal demand away from, the big boys, the Amazons, Google, Microsoft Azure, all of those. They're going to steal some away from that. Now, again, not necessarily for big companies because nobody gets fired for choosing any of those platforms, but from a medium to small size business that might need this type of compute resource, they're going to be less afraid. They're going to be more cost conscious and realize that, okay, great. I use this resource and it doesn't work and I waste a day. Not a big deal. It was worth the risk. But in this case, it won't fail. Rizzo529 says, have a T4 64 gig kit for my salad rig, LOL, doing great so far. Yeah, that's actually what I just bought. Actually, I take that back. I just bought a 32, a 2x16 to fill out a rig. It was just cheaper to go about doing it that way instead of replacing everything. Anyway, but I'll have to eventually replace the memory in my NAS because right now I just have all my leftover 8 gig sticks in there. So I have actually 2 extra 8 gig sticks left. But I have all of those in the NAS. So I have 32 gig in there, which is fine to start for what I want to do with it. But eventually, if I want to run like a salad VM, I'm going to probably need to switch to 128. So I'll have to go to 4 sticks of 32 each. All right, let's see. Any other questions out there? Otherwise, we're going to call it a night. 9:10. Did not get a lot of sleep last night, so probably hang out for a little bit and then get to bed a lot earlier than I did last night because, man, I stayed up way too late with the boys. Way too late. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks again for coming. I do very, very much appreciate you guys all for being here. And again, we will see you next Monday night on Mondays with Max. And don't forget to show up on Saturday for Saturday Night Live, Misfit Mining Saturday Night Live. Tomorrow night is, that reminds me. But tomorrow night is Terahash Tuesday. Next Monday, actually. I don't know if I'm going to stream or not because I am flying into Miami. I have no idea what my schedule is going to be at this point. So I may be unable to stream next week. And I'm getting to the airport kind of late. So I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just do like a late morning stream. We'll see how that turns out. Certainly if I have a delayed flight, I'll probably stream in the middle of the day from my phone. And just kind of shoot the breeze with everybody. So that's kind of in question for next week. But anyway, TerraHash Tuesday is tomorrow night. One thing to keep in mind, if we're going to be getting these announcements for S21. So if you are interested in getting in line for S21s, don't forget about terrahashes.com to get a great deal and great service through Hawk and Terra. So keep that in mind if you are going to be buying some of those units. And then Wednesday is, shoot, I forget what they call it. But anyway, it's Vistang, GPU risers, and Dave, GPU cables. Wired Wednesdays. Thank you. Drawing a blank. So that's on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I believe that King has now established that he is going to do some type of salad Thursday. Hey, maybe you should get Brandon to do it with you if you can. That'd be kind of cool. Get you guys both going at the same time. That'd be a really cool show. Just saying. Where are you, Brandon? Anyway, alrighty, guys. Well, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. You guys all have a wonderful night, and the General is out. Have a good night.